I'm Lynn, and welcome to another day at Ewetopia Farms. Way too icy to be walking in the yard. I think we need a bigger bottle feeder here now. I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about growing lambs. Breeding your sheep is an age thing, not a weight thing. We have less chance of getting mastitis. And Arnie just rolls it out like that on top of the feeder.
Isn't that a massive animal?
Let's get started. By some miracle, we didn't lose power last night. It rained more over the night, and the trees are definitely suffering more right now. As you can see, the branches are much lower, and there's branches on the ground and stuff, but no snap trees that I can see. See, the branches are right to the ground here, covered in ice. But we're hoping that the temperature is going to warm up today and the ice will fall off the branches and the trees will bounce right back up. But it's another scary prospect walking across the yard because the warmth is adding a sheen of moisture on top of the ice that's on the ground, which makes things even more slippery. It's way too icy to be walking in the yard, so we're heading to the coveralls in the skid steer. We've got the bottles with us. Starting to melt. You can hear the water, but like I said, that makes it even more slippery.
The trees all bent over?
Yeah, you can see the branches.
See that tree there?
a bigger bottle feeder here now because the lambs are growing, so there's no room for everyone at the feeder. We do have another one, don't we, somewhere? They can't all eat at once anymore.
There are
It's
two,
too crammed.
I want to make the pen and then move the feeder and the two up.
Yeah, but then I can space everyone.
Yep.
They just don't have room this way. That's why you keep seeing me switching out the bottles, so I can space it a little better. At the end started as a bottle baby, but to be honest, he doesn't even need a bottle. That's why it's taking him so long with it, because he's just fiddling. He doesn't need it. Nani, you don't need it either. You're getting a little gluttonous. So then Alexander comes up here, knocks my camera off inevitably, because he's waiting for his food in the other barn, so he comes over here. But as you can see, if you're watching, you would see that Nani is a fast guzzler, and she goes bottle to bottle, and that's why she's growing bigger. The more you eat, the more you grow, especially when you're a lamb. But that's why we vaccinated her, because the greedy ones usually, not usually, but they're the ones most prone to overeating disease. So I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about growing lambs. As you can see, we hand feed our bottle babies only because a milk machine just wouldn't work in our situation, because we have a really spread out lambing period, and we also keep the lambs on for 3 months, same as the lambs that are on their mothers. We feel that if a lamb not on a bottle is nursing for 3 months, then so should a bottle baby. So that's what we do. That's how we do it. And we find at the end of the day, our bottle babies are indistinguishable from the mother-raised ones, because they are fed well and cared for. It's a lot more work feeding by hand, but this year we've been really lucky. Didn't have too many bottle babies considering the number of triplets we had this year. So really pleased with that. So that's how we grow our lambs, and then we have the creep areas set up for them, and we feed them creep feed. And of course, hay. Our goal is producing quality lambs and quality sheep at the end of the day. And yeah, I guess the theory goes, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. I think our sheep show that as adults. This year we had the ram break-in with our ewe lambs. And those ewe lambs were probably around 150 pounds at the time, and I know lots and lots of people will say if they're over 100 pounds, breed them. But of course, our sheep are 100 pounds at 3 months old, and I'm sure even the people who say that would not be breeding those lambs. To me, breeding your sheep is an age thing, not a weight thing, because all breeds weigh differently, and just because you're a bigger lamb doesn't mean that you're mature. And a sheep generally takes a year to grow into its full height, and quite honestly, it's not until they're 2 years old till you see the finished product, where they've gotten their thickness and they've gotten their height and they're set to go. Our replacement ewe lambs, we hold back a year before we put a ram in with them for breeding. This year was an exception because we had the break-in of the rams. But it is a good way for us to show you why we believe that you should hold off and not breed those ewe lambs and wait till they're at least a year old. So here is one of the ewe lambs that was bred, and I don't know if it's apparent on the camera, but her hip bones are showing as opposed to the ones beside her. Oh, and this is another one that was from that group. Do you see the difference in body size and development and condition between an adult ewe and the ewe lambs? Having babies when you are a lamb yourself is very difficult because you're trying to feed yourself up to grow your own bones, your own organs, your own frame, and you're now also trying to build up lambs. And in many cases, it's several lambs. So if you are going to go this route and breed ewe lambs, we would suggest that you have them in a separate group and you feed them much heavier. That being said, you can only feed a ewe so much food before she's going to have metabolic problems. So you got to gradually feed them more, but you know that we are heavy feeders and good feeders, and still those ewe lambs that were bred are in way poorer condition than the adults. Lambs don't seem to suffer in the early stages because those mums do have milk and they raise their lambs. However, once the lambs have milked off the ewe's body fat, then the ewes start to dry up. That's the reason we keep our lambs on our ewes for 3 months, because it facilitates in the drying up process when we wean. The lambs are more mature. They don't cry as much when they leave the moms. Moms are tired of the lambs. They don't cry as much either. And we have less chance of getting mastitis because the ewes have already been sucked dry. With the ewe lambs that were bred, they're gonna be sucked dry a lot sooner because they don't have the same type of body reserves. So those lambs will wean earlier and will require eating more creep feed to sustain them. And they can do that, but they will lose the mom's milk sooner. And not only that, a lot of people come here and say, my God, how do you get your ewes looking so good? And that is the reason why. That's what I say. I mean, we select carefully for our breeding stock, but we also don't breed them as lambs, and that allows them to grow to their full potential before we put the pressures of motherhood and a career of lambing on them. So some may say, well, leaving the ewes for a year open is not very profitable. But once that's part of your routine and it just flows around in a circle, I don't think that is true anymore, because what you've accomplished in improving your maternal ewe stock is well worth the price of feeding an open ewe until she's old enough to breed. It's our opinion. It's the way we do it. And it's not a criticism of people who do it other ways, because a lot of people breed lambs and are extremely good feeders and can keep their ewes in good shape, but it's difficult. In that break-in group, Big Betty was also in that group, and she's right here eating behind this one. There she is. And she's held her condition way better than the ewe lambs that were bred, even though she's an 11-year-old sheep. And that's because she's a fully developed ewe. When she was bred, she was already set, didn't have to worry about maintaining herself. All she had to worry about was growing her own lambs. And that's the difference. See, here's the mom. She's got 2 lambs with her, and you can see that her hip bones and her backbone is showing. And it's certainly not because we were feeding her, it's because she was a ewe lamb. Hi, Big Betty. You're looking mighty pretty. See, Betty wasn't fed specially either, and she's an old girl. And she is showing weight loss already with her lamb. That's her lamb behind. But because she's a more mature ewe, she was able to hold her condition a lot easier and will hold it for a lot longer. But you can see these adults, be they Suffolks or Dorsets, they're nursing their lambs and they are still in really good condition. I'm at the front of the feeder, and these are the lambs. Max, get out.
This is why I seed it. I'm going to seed that piece down with 90% alfalfa. This is pure alfalfa. No matter how coarse it is, they still eat it.
So when my camera's zoomed in, you can't hear very well. So just in case you didn't hear Arnie, he said that's why he's seeding down pure alfalfa next year in one of the fields, because this bale here is pure alfalfa almost, and whether it's coarse or not, the sheep just love it, because we talked about that scratch earlier in another video. With alfalfa, a lot of people poo-poo the stalks because they really love the leaves. But those stalks are coarse and add that roughage that they need. And Arnie just rolls it out like that on top of the feeder, which looks really easy and nice. But sometimes the fibers all stick together and it's kind of a little bit of a nightmare, but this bale is rolling out really nicely for him. Oh, look at that ram back there.
Lots of extras, actually.
That's a really nice one. Here he comes. Can he get through?
it's becoming a problem, right?
He came through?
Yeah.
Oh, he couldn't resist. He had to catch another one. How much is that?
What?
How much does he weigh?
Oh, he's 100 pounds. He's heavier than I am. Isn't that a massive animal? How do you develop that? How do you develop that in 80 days? That's
Yeah.
like 80 days.
Yeah. Hi, sweetheart.
Look at the bone on him. Oh, he's got a good bite there.
20 something, yeah.
Solid. Oh.
So in this pen, the other part of growing lambs is just making sure that they're kept clean, because illness will set your sheep back really quickly, especially lambs. When we let them out onto pasture, we don't let lambs and ewes out together. We did that in the past, and we found that the lambs were very prone to picking up parasites when they're in the fields with their moms, who were more tolerant of it. And all the work you put into growing your lambs disappeared within a few weeks. And once a sheep loses its weight, it's actually quite a struggle to get it back into good form again, especially when they're a lamb. Because again, like I say, lambs are still growing. It's all about their growth. The smallest of setbacks in their feed, in their health, can make the difference between being a keeper or a lamb that's going to go to market. Because again, you only want to keep your very best as replacement stock. And even though it may not have been the lamb's fault, it's set for life once it goes backwards. So we want them looking like this girl, one that just went to the drinker there. Another thing that's important, but maybe not talked about as much, is having a good, clean supply of water for the lambs. Lambs can get diarrhea and sickness from dirty water just as easily as they can get it from eating dirty hay or dirty grass. So keep your drinkers clean. And along with health and growing sheep or growing your lambs is having good ventilation. You can see right now we got a good breeze going through these barns. We have curtains set up so that the air flows through here at all times of the year. If it's really cold, we can close it down. If it's really hot, we can open it up. And that helps preventing pneumonia, which is also a very common thing with sheep, especially in confinement or in really adverse weather conditions. They get weakened by the poor conditions and makes them susceptible to pneumonia. If you've been watching here for any amount of time, knock on wood, we have never had pneumonia here. It seems everyone tells us it's so common, and I kid you not, in 25 years, we have never had pneumonia. Really got to knock on wood for that. So, but it is about clean conditions. And that's all to do with growing your sheep. If you have a good environment, a good mother, a good feed, good care, it's a lot of work, but you're going to have good sheep. Whether you're a commercial breeder or a purebred breeder, it doesn't make any difference. A healthy, fast-growing sheep is a productive one and is the one that's going to make your life easier and put money in your pocket at the end of the day. Arnie's just gone onto the Dorset side and plopped a bale of straw over there. We told you yesterday that The Dorsets would be needing bedding today. So he just plopped it in and we'll go bed them up. We've got the opening to the creep area fully open to the outdoors because it doesn't matter if they want to go out there, as we're preparing them for weaning by allowing them to leave their moms and wander around freely, feeling really important.
Get out of here! I don't like them around here. I think they're smarter than I am.
Whoa, that little 13, you better watch his eating. You're a bit of a chunker. Oh, you're okay? You're just going there?
Come on, hello. Come on, guys. Come on.
Come on. There we go. There we go. Good girls. Good boy, Ben. Good job, Benny. Good, you got them all rounded out.
Huh? Pretty round, eh?
Pretty round.
I got a little heavy.
Someone's looking for his mom. That's the sound of, Mom, I'm hungry, I need some milk. Probably a ginormous one too. Mom's hiding, saying, no, you don't need any more milk. There you are. You're one of my keepers. Hi. You're always here when I'm looking for someone. Hi there. Would you like to come up? It's okay. Not you. Not you. Yes, you. Come on. You can come up. It's okay. Oh, you're pretty lovely too. Oh, you know how this is going to go. They're all going to become keepers. Not. There's a really nice ram back there. Ram there is extremely long. Long-bodied. Better for lambing. And if you're in the commercial market, That's the loin. Got a lot of loin chops there. Hi, buddy.
I got that one, honey.
Oh my God, Arnie. It's an obsession.
You gotta say, only in Canada? What a pity. This is a Dorset, honey. Oh,
What number is he?
I don't know.
Ideally, you want width and length. So that's what you're looking. Yeah, they've got fantastic bone, and we talk about that because it's kind of like the high capacity bodies. That bone is what's supporting those heavy weights of these sheep when they mature. So it's very important that they have good bones, strong bones. Even the cats are tiptoeing across the yard. It's hard, isn't it, Slade? And look at, this is the mud pile. That's all solid ice, not snow. Well, today we've got Best Buy bringing our new TV in and hooking it up for us. We've been over, I think it's been 10 days with no TV. It's torture. How did they do it in the olden days? Anyway, we're going to call that a day. If you liked your time with us today, please remember to let us know and give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't, subscribe down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.